Big reaction today to the bombshell news that Prince Andrew has been stripped of his title. He's so on the outs with the rest of the royal family. Word is they have disinvited him from the upcoming Christmas festivity.
So guess what? This is kind of crazy. Because long before the scandals, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was treated like the perfect royal boy. But the truth is he was already showing signs of that dark side. And when he was at Gordonston School in Scotland, people remember him acting like he was above everyone. And one girl even said he would walk around bragging and saying, "You know who I am," whenever things did not go his way. And looking back now, it feels like the fall started way earlier than anyone noticed.
King Charles III has stripped his disgraced brother Prince Andrew of his remaining titles and evicted him from his royal residence. So why was action taken now and what happens next? Let's break it down. The move follows weeks of pressure on the crown to respond to Andrew's relationship with defender Jeffrey.
So get this. Andrew really thought he was the most charming and smartest royal ever. But people around him just saw a loud show-off who wanted respect without earning it. And teachers later admitted no one talked about his school days because everyone only remembered him as a bully who was obsessed with his royal status. And even in a place meant to humble princes, he refused to be like everyone else, always wanting special treatment. And what is wild is that even though the boys could not stand him, he was still surrounded by girls. Like he never had trouble getting their attention at all.
It's a disgrace, I'll be completely honest. He's representing the country and he's meant to be the face of England. Is this what we represent? Is this what the people represent? No, it's a disgrace. So I'm happy he's got a strip on his titles, his royal titles.
So listen, this is where it gets even more dramatic because Andrew had this constant rotation of girls around him. And people at the time even gave him the nickname Randy Andy, way before he ever joined the Navy. But then there was this one American girlfriend from a super rich family who said something totally different about him. She claimed he was actually sweet and trusting and almost weirdly innocent, and that he was scared girls would only use him for his royal title. And that is the crazy contrast with Andrew, because behind the arrogant show-off was someone deeply insecure. And even when he joined Dartmouth Naval College, nothing really changed because one cadet said he acted like he belonged in another era, like some old-school gentleman who used his title like a shield. And another guy called him toffee-nosed and clueless about the real world. And at the Royal Naval Air Station in Cornwall, the drama got even funnier because his peers were literally expected to salute his car. And one officer even joked, "Imagine having to salute a flipping car, like that is how far his royal attitude went." So now it all makes sense because that same prince who used to push kids around in school turned into a naval officer who expected everyone to worship him. And the royal crown that once made him special slowly became a shield for him and a burden for everyone else. And you can literally see the pattern forming because a boy who bullies grows into a man who yells at the people working for him, and a teenager who demanded respect becomes an adult who thinks he deserves blind obedience, and a young cadet who hid behind his royal title becomes a disgraced man running from responsibility. And even though privilege built him up, it was his own entitlement that completely wrecked him. And if you look at him today, it is shocking because all his royal titles are gone, he has been pushed out of public life and kicked out of the Royal Lodge, the massive 30-room mansion. He tried so hard not to leave, and the Queen's golden boy has somehow turned into the biggest embarrassment the royal family has ever had. And when King Charles finally lost patience, he ended everything in one simple phone call, telling Andrew that it was done. The titles, the honors, the comfort, even the house. Nothing would be his anymore.
On this particular occasion, went into Prince Andrew's bedroom and his apartments, and on his bed was, I now know was 72, I said about 50, but I maid confirmed it was 72 because she had to count them, 72 teddy bears on his bed. And then my inspector showed me a laminated card which is in the side drawer.
So this part is honestly unreal, because the same arrogance that once opened every door for him has now slammed every door shut. And the boy who used to yell, "You know who I am," has turned into a man nobody even wants to be connected to. And his name has become so toxic that people whisper it like a warning, showing how power and ego can completely destroy a legacy from the inside. And people who know him say he spends most of his time hiding away angry playing video games, pretending the world is against him, and still acting like the royal family owes him something.
News out of London, where Buckingham Palace has issued a statement saying that King Charles has started the formal process to strip Prince Andrew of his prince title. He will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, and the BBC is reporting that he'll have to move to another royal estate.
Even though forgiveness only comes when someone learns humility, and that is something he never did. And lately, former palace staff have been speaking up, and the stuff they say is unbelievable. Like one maid explained how he was obsessed with everything being exactly his way, especially his stuffed toys, and every morning they had to arrange over 70 teddy bears in the exact order he wanted. And if even one tiny detail was wrong, he would just explode, like the whole world had betrayed him. So, when you really dig into the stories from the palace, it just gets more unbelievable because staff, members who worked closest to Andrew, say the tiniest things could set him off. And one worker remembered how he actually shouted at a maid simply because she touched his curtains a little too early in the morning before he was ready to wake up. Like the entire palace was supposed to operate according to his personal sleep schedule. And others said he threw full tantrums over the smallest details, like if his pants were not ironed with absolute perfection, or if the temperature of his bath water was even slightly different from what he wanted. And in Andrew Lowley's report, it gets even more dramatic, because he wrote that every palace worker was expected to bow the exact moment Andrew entered the room. And if someone didn't do it quickly enough, he would snap and say, "Let's try that again," like he was rehearsing a scene, and everyone else was beneath him. And there was an aide who was completely reassigned from his job, just because Andrew did not like the mole on the man's face.
He has like 40 teddy bears that have to be assembled and arranged perfectly. Staff are given a chart to arrange Prince Andrew's teddy bears on his bed every day. So there's quirky stuff, but there's also just stuff in there about how, especially in recent years since he's left the royal family, that he takes it out on staff because he is in isolation, he is in the...
And another person got moved simply because he wore a nylon tie, which Andrew decided was too cheap looking. And there was also a moment staff will never forget, because Andrew screamed at a palace employee for not addressing the queen in the precise way he wanted, calling him an effing imbecile, like the man didn't even deserve to be in the same room as him. And the craziest part is, this was not the behavior of a disgraced prince who had already lost everything. This was how he acted when he still had all the power, all the privilege, and all the status, and he was so used to people obeying him that he truly believed no one on earth was allowed to tell him no. And looking back now, you can see how this attitude was already shaping the downfall that was coming, because someone who treats others like that never thinks consequences will reach them. And Andrew lived with that belief for years. Like the world existed only to serve him, and no rule applied unless he approved it. So when you look closely at everything, it becomes painfully obvious that his outbursts were never just someone losing their temper. They were the dramatic explosions of a man who truly believed the whole world should revolve around him and Andrew Lowe's. New book tears away the final layer of image and perfection that used to protect him. And what it reveals is honestly jaw-dropping, because it says his money life was always suspicious. He spent like someone with endless millions, even though his official income could never support that lifestyle. And instead of slowing down, he kept pulling in favors gifts and secret business deals from all kinds of shady and questionable people, using his royal name like a golden key to get whatever he wanted. And then comes the most infamous part, the 4-day Thailand trip, where around 40 women went to his hotel room, which shows just how reckless, out of control, and detached from reality he had become. And the saddest part is that his daughters Beatrice and Eugenie were dragged into his circle without even realizing it, because he constantly used them to stay connected to power influence and wealthy people, as he desperately tried to stay relevant and important. And when you step back and look at his life as a whole, the book makes something crystal clear. His entire adulthood was built on the same arrogance he showed as a kid, only this time, the consequences were huge and permanent. And that means his downfall did not suddenly explode. In one moment, it was decades in the making, a slow collapse that everyone can see now, because the cocky schoolboy who bullied classmates became the entitled man who demanded blind obedience. The entitlement eventually turned into scandal, and the scandal turned into complete exile. And now the man who once barked, "You do know who I am," is facing a world that calmly replies, "Yes, we know," and nobody cares anymore. And what makes it even more tragic is Andrew still refuses to face the truth because the people around him say he blames everyone except himself, like the media, his brother, the palace, the system, anyone but him. And he is convinced that time will fix everything, and one day the monarchy will call him back and give him his titles, honor, and reputation again, as if nothing ever happened. But the reality is that day will never arrive, because his destruction did not come from one mistake. It came from years of arrogance, cruelty, entitlement, denial, and ego, piled up until nothing was left to protect him. And the exact traits that once gave him power and privilege have now become the same traits, keeping him alone, cut off, unwanted, and forgotten by the world he once expected to rule forever. And before you leave, do not forget to like and subscribe to Bella Breaks Down, because this channel is the only place where the truth actually comes out, while everyone else hides the royal secrets we expose.